Hi again. Hope you're coming to the outdoor service this week. We have a new verse that we're starting today. And it says here, so encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. So let's say it one more time together, and then I'll tell you what you can do this week. So encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Okay, so what I want you to do is go ahead and leave this up here and go ahead and write it down. You can either do it with a piece of chalk outside, or maybe you can write it with a marker on a piece of paper, or maybe you've got a chalkboard or a whiteboard or something like that. Go ahead and write that down on your board and have it ready for next week, okay? Hang on to it so that you can have it for next week. Now, if you do it outside, obviously you won't be able to hang on to it, but if you put it on a piece of paper or something, then hang on to it for next week because we'll have an activity for it, okay? Okay, now this week we're continuing to talk about Paul and some of his journeys. And so this week we're going to tell you about some things that happened to him and some opportunities that he had. And talk about how that relates to us, how we can do some of the same things, okay? All right, so as I tell the story, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story, and then I'm going to read a verse. And after I say the verse, then I want you to make a face that indicates like the emotion that's going on in that scene in the Bible right then, okay? All right. Well, as Paul headed to Jerusalem, his ship stopped at Caesarea. There, a man that had a gift of prophecy predicted that Paul would become a prisoner if he went to Jerusalem. Okay? Ooh, that sounds interesting. Well, let's see what happened, all right? Coming over to us, he took Paul's belt, tied his own hands and feet with it, and said, "The Holy Spirit says, in this way the Jewish leaders in Jerusalem will bind the owner of this belt," who is Paul, "and will hand him over to the Gentiles." That's the people who weren't Jews. All right? So what emotion do you think, as this man predicted what was going to happen, what emotion do you think they were feeling? Like a, right? Yeah. Do you think you'd go? They were trying to tell him not to go. But you know what? Paul said, I have work to do. God is telling me to go. And if he's telling me to go, I need to go. And I'm not afraid to suffer for Christ. Isn't that awesome? All right. Well, when he arrived in Jerusalem, he learned that some of the Jews were angry because he taught the Gentiles about Jesus. They didn't like it that he was telling people that weren't Jews about Jesus. They weren't supposed to be saved. The Jews were special. Okay, so let me read it. When the 7 days were nearly over, some Jews from the province of Asia saw Paul at the temple. They stirred up the whole crowd and seized him. That means they grabbed him. They took a hold of him and wouldn't let him go. Okay, so what emotion do you think is going on in this part of the story? Think they're angry? Maybe put on your angry face. Or maybe they were like, wow, surprised he was there. I don't know, but I think they were at least angry, right? Okay, so some of the angry people accused Paul of disobeying the Jewish laws, and a huge riot started. Okay, so then that's not just one angry person, that's a whole bunch, right? Okay, let's see what it says. While they were trying to kill him, news reached the commander of the Roman troops that the whole city of Jerusalem was in an uproar. An uproar is just everybody going crazy. We have that going on in a few cities in our country right now. But maybe you haven't seen that. But in a few cities in our country, that's happening right now, where a bunch of people are having a fit. They're in an uproar. Okay? Alrighty. Let's see. So what face would you say that you would make for that? Maybe the angry one again, right? Let's go ahead and make that. Okay, the Roman commander stopped the riot and arrested Paul. And the mob was so angry that soldiers had to lift Paul onto their shoulders to protect him. They had to get him out of there because these people were so angry. Okay, let's read the verse that goes with it. The crowd that followed kept shouting, "Get rid of him!" That's what they said. Boy, they really had stirred up anger in their heart, hadn't they? Okay, so any other emotions to go with that? Go ahead and make your angry face and any other faces you want to make, because I'm sure there's more than one going on. Probably some people were surprised. Probably some people were sad. But it sounded like the main people in these verses were angry, weren't they? Okay. And do you know what Paul did in response? After they took him away, over their shoulder and stuff, he asked the soldiers for a chance to talk to the angry mob. And the soldiers were like, really? You really want to do this? But he did it. He asked to do it, and they let him do it. And he told them about Jesus. He thought that's why he was there, and I think it was, okay? He spoke to the angry people, and he told them all about Jesus. Can you think of a time when you've spoken boldly about Jesus to someone? Maybe somebody in your family that doesn't know Jesus, or a friend? I hope so. If not, and you can think of somebody today that's close to you that really needs to know Jesus, they need to know now, don't they? They sure do. When is it hard for you to speak boldly to Jesus about somebody? Maybe it's harder for you if you know the person well. Maybe it's harder if you don't know the person. I think it's easier if you know the person. You kind of know how they're going to react. And maybe you're a little scared of how they're going to respond to you. But you know what? We need to do it boldly, don't we? He told the crowd all about Jesus, even though he knew they were trying to kill him for speaking about the truth. Paul spoke boldly, and we need to too, don't we? We sure do. Okay, so that's the story for today. And what I want you to do is get some markers and a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, I'm going to use the back of my paper here. I want you to write ways that you can tell people about Jesus on here, or people that you know. I want you just to write up all those different things on the paper. You can write it big, you can write it little, draw pictures, all that kind of thing, okay? All right. And when you're done, come back, and I'll show you what else we're going to do with it. Okay, so now if you have your paper, I want you to roll it kind of like a cone. You take it and roll it like on the corner. Just at the one corner a little tight, okay? And then you can use it like a megaphone, okay? Megaphones make your voice louder, okay? So I want you to go around your house or wherever you are and boldly tell people about Jesus, even if they already know, just as a practice, okay? So that you can practice boldly telling them, all right? Of course, when you really do it, you're not going to yell at people, right? No, that's not a good idea. But if you show them love, that'll speak louder than anything else, okay? So hang on to your megaphone this week, all right? to remind you to speak boldly about Jesus. All right, that's all for this week. Hope to see you Sunday. Bye-bye.